Long before lighters, long before matches, someone crouched in the dirt with 2 sticks and nothing else, determined to make heat appear out of friction alone. No spark plug, no flint lighter, just patience, wood, and an idea passed down from someone who figured out first. How does a person invent fire from scratch? Archaeological evidence for deliberate fire starting, not just fire use, stretches back at least 400,000 years, though the exact methods used that early remain debated. What's clearer is that by the time humans spread across the globe, multiple independent fire-starting techniques had emerged in different regions, each one solving the same basic problem in a different way. The most widely used method was friction, specifically the hand drill and the bow drill. A hand drill uses a straight wooden shaft spun rapidly between the palms against a wooden base, generating heat through friction until fine with dust ignites into a tiny ember. It sounds simple. It is brutally hard on the hands. Why does spinning wood against wood actually create fire? Friction generates heat and dry. Powdery wood dust has a very low ignition point. As the dust heats up from the constant spinning, it eventually reaches a temperature hot enough to smolder into a glowing coal, even without an open flame touching it yet. The bow drill improved on this by wrapping a core around the drill and attaching it to a small bow, allowing someone to spin the shaft faster and with far less exhausting hand movement. This small mechanical advantage turned an exhausting task into something far more repeatable and reliable. In colder, wetter regions, a different method emerged entirely. Percussion fire starting use a hard stone like flint struck against a mineral called pyrite or a piece of iron-rich rock, throwing off tiny sparks hot enough to ignite specially prepared tinder. Is it a coincidence that different regions arrived at different solutions? Probably not. Communities adapted fire-starting methods to whatever materials were locally available. Friction methods dominated where wood was abundant. Percussion methods appear more often in regions rich in flint and pyrite deposits. Once a coal or spark-ignited tinder, usually something extremely dry and fibrous like shredded bark, dry grass, or fungus, it had to be nursed carefully. Gentle blowing added oxygen without extinguishing the fragile coal. Too much air too fast could snuff it out entirely. This knowledge wasn't trivial to pass along. Successfully starting a fire from scratch required understanding with selection, moisture content, technique, and patience, skills built through repeated practice and careful teaching across generations. Why did this matter so much beyond simply staying warm? A community that could reliably start fire on demand, rather than only carrying embers from an existing flame, gained enormous flexibility. They could travel farther. They could recover faster after a fire went out during a storm or long journey. Fire starting wasn't one invention. It was several, discovered independently by different groups, solving the same problem with whatever the land around them provided. Each small breakthrough, a faster bow drill, a sharper spark from better flint, meant one less night spent in the cold. Somewhere, thousands of years ago, in different corners of the world, different hands spun the same simple motion until smoke finally curled into the air. It wasn't magic. It was patience, physics, and generations of trial and error, distilled into a motion simple enough for a child to eventually learn.